coach today. And you could make a list of all the excuses they could have had not to play well and not to be mentally ready to play. And you had a big win in Oregon, your finals week. You had Christmas break coming. You had a team that's better than their record in Bradley. It's a young team that reminds me a little bit of us that first year in the mountain as far as how many freshmen they're playing. But they just continue to play hard, so credit to them. But our guys did a terrific job in having the right mindset. We got better at some things we need to get better at. One of them being able to create some turnovers and create some offense off that turnovers. We haven't been doing a very good job of that this year, and that was an area we wanted to address and get better at. And so a bit of a mark of a good team is to be able to take what we're working on in practice and have it translate into the game.
You mentioned the effort that really seemed to show in some of the hustle plays out there. There was, James follows a block, layup with his own.
Yeah.
Zach kept the possession alive on an offensive rebound off a free throw. It just seemed like there were a couple of those plays today that really seemed to make the difference.
Right, and that's always going to make the difference. And all these close games you play in, like against Oregon, those hustle plays Chandler made, those hustle plays Zach made. That has to be who we are, and that has to be night in, night out, regardless of who you're playing or what the score is. And I thought our guys had a great, mature approach to this game, and I credit my staff for having them ready.
You were able to only go 3 deep on the bench, but it seemed to work out okay for you.
That was a bit scary too. Is that first of all, as coaches, we're always worried about something, and if we're not worried, we're worried that we're not worried enough. So I was concerned with only having 8 guys. I don't think I've ever went only having 8 guys. And I talked to Colin even in case he was ready to play, because Tigo was, I didn't want to have to play him. His ankle was not good. This bought Tigo and Robin some time, and they'll be ready to play against UCDX.
You had pretty balanced scoring attack. You had 5 guys in double figures,
Yeah.
and Anthony Drunick wasn't one of them. I don't know if I ever would have imagined that, but I don't know. That seems like that's something that this team might be a little bit more dangerous than maybe in the past, just because it seems like you have a number of guys.
Yeah, and then we're getting way better consistency off the bench. Zach had 4 rebounds, Chandler had 4 rebounds, 11 points, 4 assists, kind of doing it all with a block and a steal, a couple steals, and 11 points off 7 shots. So really efficient, and he's delivering off the bench. And there's consistency to what he's bringing, and that's been huge for our team.
How you got here, talking about developing that toughness and whatnot. It just seems like he's starting to kind of come into his own a little bit.
Yeah.
Or just kind of
Well, I think with Chandler, there's some kids that make these big jumps between years, and I think what we've seen with Chandler, it's just a steady growth, and it's almost game to game, there's a little bit better. And if he can keep doing that, with his physical abilities and what he can bring to the game of basketball, the sky's the limit. He could end up being a great player. And so, I told him as he's getting ready to leave for Christmas, don't take the foot off the gas now. Enjoy your family, but let's get some workouts in and let's keep getting better.
He actually shot more threes than you. Is this one of those like the 3, love the rim type of nights
absolutely.
for you?
And this is a little bit of a good sign for us in the fact that in November I'd probably say that there were times where we were too one-dimensional and we didn't take what the defense gave us, and we were like, come hell or high water, we're going to shoot threes. And we had a better approach because we took what they gave us, we pinned fouls on them, and we got to the free throw line, and we got good twos. And for us to be a good team, we have to do that. We're not going to just rely on threes. If you're going to try to take that away, we're going to get easy shots, unguarded shots at the free throw line and lands.
It seems like you mentioned yesterday being efficient. You were aggressive today, but efficient. You didn't have a lot of guys in foul trouble, and you got to the line a lot offensively.
Yeah, no, there was, I can't, I'll watch the film and probably find some things, but there wasn't a lot of things I wasn't, I didn't like. And I thought like I said, I was really, really proud of our guys and our staff for having them so ready and so focused on a game that could have been tough. But and a credit to our fans coming out today. That's great. It's 12 o'clock game, so sometimes those are cumbersome as far as getting a lot of people here. And, we had a good crowd. It felt like a basketball game.
Having a good effort like this got to make you feel better about now. Now it's 10 more days till another game. So going to that, it's got to make you feel a little bit better about what's ahead.
Absolutely. And we're starting to play good, and we're starting to improve, and we're doing some really nice things. And if we can continue that, we're going to ride this momentum in the league. And the good thing, like you said, we got 10 more days, I believe, right, for the next game. We need this, and we need to get healthy. We need to get rested. Because we start with the bye in league, so we only have one bye the whole year, basically. And so it's 2 games a week, and the grind of league is going to be tough. And so, as a coach, I don't want any days off, I want to keep riding this momentum, but I know that these days off are really going to help us.
With Hutch last year, you put him in the starting lineup and probably put the minutes of the guy coming off the bench, and now it's almost the exact opposite. And curious to, obviously the impact that he can have in both those roles, which are obviously kind of different.
Well, first of all, it's a credit to the kind of kid he is to just, every kid probably wants to start, and every kid, he's happy with doing this and getting better and being a big part of this team. He was starting last year, but he's a bigger part of this team because his role's bigger and he's playing more, and he's a crunch time guy. And, but again, it's a credit to the kind of kid he is that he's not making a fuss over not starting. He's just like, how can I help this team? And I'm going to continue to do it to help this team.
What changed? What have you seen change in him where you trust him in the Oregon game to close out that game? Whereas last year he was starting but not finishing out games, and now in the biggest game that you guys had here, he's in there in crunch time. He's a crunch time guy now.
Yeah.
What's changed about him?
Well, he's just becoming a more mature player and becoming, figuring out his role and figuring out how he fits in this team, what he does really well, what makes him a good player. Well, that's when guys are good, when they figure out what they're really good at and what they can do, and then they just stick to that. They just do it over and over again. I mean, John Stockton's in the Hall of Fame because he did the simple play over and over again 18,000 times. And, when you teach these guys, it's like, hey, you don't have to show 26 things you can't do. Just if you got one thing that you can do and nobody can stop you from doing it, or 2 or 3, then just keep doing that.
Seems like Chandler fits that role really well because of his versatility, that if he has to come in for a certain guy, he can play so many different positions that you're not just pigeonholed into, the point guard's out. He can come in.
And the longer, we have Chandler, the more that's gonna go that direction. I mean, he's like we said, utility infielder, but he can play the outfield too. So he's more than just the infielder. He can play everywhere. And you look at Jeff Linder and I were talking about it. The best he's ever played, or some of his best minutes he ever played here, was the scrimmage when we played him at point guard. And so that's down the road too. We'll use him there sometimes at some point. I don't know how much this year, but eventually, then he can play pretty much everywhere.
Can you expand a little more on how Bradley reminds you of your team?
Yeah, I talked to the coach about this a little bit, and when we went to the Mountain West, we had 7 freshmen. We were committed to playing them, and they were the guys that we played against, that would play that played today. Anthony and Mikey and those guys, they were all on that team. And I even talked to the team about that. The one thing that we were going to make mistakes, and we were going to, you couldn't micromanage everything they did. But the one thing we could always control is that we were going to play hard every second. And that paid off for us building a freshman. And it's going to pay off for Bradley because they're investing in a lot of. They look like great kids. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're playing the right way. It's just what I see will happen is the minutes of playing good basketball will just keep expanding, and mistakes will be less and less, and then they're going to look up, and they're going to have a really, really good team as time goes by. And, ours happened quicker than we thought it could. That maybe a year earlier than I thought it would. We went to the NCAA tournament, and we were rewarded for investing in all those freshmen. And it's hard, because everybody wants you to win all these games right away, but it's going to pay off for Bradley, and they're going